Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan here today with another video in our North Node series, and today we're going to be talking about North Node in the 10th house through the signs. I feel like there's a lot of people out there watching the channel who actually have this placement. This is an interesting one. I do have a lot of clients who also have North Node in the 10th house. I think that if you've got this, you're kind of really called to be figuring out your calling in life. So I've made an introduction video to the North Node, and I highly recommend that you check out that video first, and then you can come back and watch this video. So links up above and the description box below. And if you've been watching the channel and you feel like you like the content that I've been putting out and you would like to support me, you can do so on a platform called Ko-fi.com by buying me a coffee. And the support that you provide me with will go into the investments that I have to make to purchase tools, equipment, and software that I need to use to make YouTube videos for you guys, as well as do birth chart readings. So let's get started. As with all North Node placements, if we are stuck in the comfort zone of our South Node, we may feel comfortable, but it will slowly lead to a certain discontentment, and we'll feel like our soul slowly begins to decay. But if we move too quickly into the areas of our North Node and we overdo it, it may lead to a certain amount of obsession and a bit of a fanaticism. But if we can balance the North and the South Node together, meaning that we do move towards our North Node, but we take with us the skills, the lessons that we have gained from our South Node, we can find that life has new meaning and we're able to experience possibilities that we never thought existed before. With a North Node in the 10th house, you will have a South Node in the 4th house. And the fragmentation of your soul lies in your mindset that you have that other people's needs are blocking you from achieving the successes in your career and in the achievements that you can make in your life. Your soul may fall easily into a pattern of enmeshments and entanglements in family drama, catering to the requirements of what your family needs, whether that be the one that you grew up with and raised you while you were younger, or the one that you're trying to build for yourself. You see, if you believe in a past incarnation, then this placement shows that in a past life you may have neglected the efforts that somebody has put in when they're trying to raise you. If you don't believe in a past incarnation, then this is showing that in an earlier life you may have grown up in a family where returning the favor was kind of the mindset that was going on in the household. And I suppose this is kind of a very traditional Asian mindset, where Asian parents would kind of assume that when their children grow up, the children would have to return the favor to the parents by, providing them with material support, like sending money back to their parents, or making sure that the parents are involved in raising the grandchildren and involved in kind of just their marriage or their family life when they build one for themselves. Even needing to offer a certain amount of emotional support, to always kind of be there emotionally for parents. And I suppose this may also be true to the traditions of our culture and society in general in the past too. Even the belief that kids need to be sort of an emotional sounding board for their mother and their father when they've matured and have established a life of their own. And with a North Node in the 10th house and a South Node in the 4th house, if this happens in your family, you're probably taking it really seriously. Yet, even though you're very dutiful and you could be a pillar of strength in so many ways, the more you do this, the more you feel that your soul slowly begins to decay and you feel discontent. Because you're here in this life to learn to integrate your soul together again through a process of realizing your highest potentials and contributing that to the world and being in the public, being immersed in your public life. The 10th house is the house of your public life, your aspirations, your personal achievements, your calling. And the fourth house is the house of real estate, the home and the family, your roots and your inner world. And the fourth house is what you're moving away from. But remember that you still have to balance the 10th with the 4th. So with this North Node in the 10th house placement, it would be a good idea for you to assume responsibility for finding out what your real aspirations in life are, what your success is supposed to be like, without total neglect of your family and your roots. And you can do that, like I said, with balance. The first thing that can be done is adopting a certain amount of emotional detachment from the burdens of support that you feel there is being put on you to provide for your family. This can be feelings of hopelessness, feeling stuck or depressed or sadness or stress. The 10th house and 4th house axis will always be about being a provider, assuming responsibility. But you have to remember that there is also the entire world that needs your support and that you need to provide for. And when you take on your role in the public life with dignity and respectability, a few things can happen. One, you may just even receive more material wealth that you can share with your family without too much compromise or feeling burdensome. Two, your family may just stop asking you for your support because they see you as an example. You may even somehow motivate them to be more self-sufficient and determined to provide for themselves without needing you because you've set the example. So when you first get in touch with your North Node, and this can happen at any time in your life depending on who you meet in life and what else is going on in your natal chart, whether that's kind of supporting you or pulling you back. But when you first get in touch with your North Node, it can lead to a bit of an obsession and a fanaticism. And for North Node in the 10th house, this can mean breaking away and breaking free from your home and family and roots, cutting them off completely in order to achieve your success in life. Well, that's actually gonna put you out of balance. Your overly determined attitude may actually cause you more resistance and inertia with authority figures in your career. They're kind of going to be pushing back at you. But if you get completely stuck in your South Node, this sometimes may lead to single parenting, where your other half is gone and you're left to be alone to raise your kids. Or there can be conflicts regarding property or real estate. The way to really find your true calling in life for North Node in the 10th house is to know that the highest mountain is the hardest mountain to climb. And if it ain't hard enough, it ain't worth the while. And it isn't your true path. Sounds like a tough life, isn't it? Well, it kinda is, with North Node in the 10th house. It's probably one of the most challenging North Node placements to have, I think, except for if you have North Node in the 8th house. But that's for another video. Realizing what frustrates you most about the world, because that is probably what you were born here to change, because you can see something that other people overlook and they don't even see it as a problem, but you can see that this is a problem in the world. And you are here to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Only when you admit what your real calling is, and it has to be a mountain that is hard enough to climb, and it has to be a high enough mountain for you to climb, and you are willing to climb it with persistence, steadiness, strategy, resourcefulness, and most importantly, dignity and integrity. Only then is it worth it. Oh, the accomplishments that are waiting for you. And once the success is achieved and it was totally worth the climb, you'll be looking back at your family and have the wealth and abundance to support them with whatever they need with ease. So a couple of things that you can do to get in touch with your North Node in the 10th house is, first of all, to dream big. Make long-term plans, like 10-year plans on how to achieve those dreams. That has to come after you really go through a process of figuring out what your calling is in life. And this can also mean being open to the changes in what you think might be your calling after your first Saturn return, because that might change what you initially thought you were called here to do, and being open to that change. You may also decide to get into some tough discipline programs, like a diet program, running a marathon, or doing disciplined sports. Climbing is a good one to just kind of build on that skill of perseverance and persistence. And the last thing that you can really do to get in touch with this North Node placement is to let go of any guilt that has been imposed upon you from your family. Let go of any feelings of hopelessness. Let go of any feelings of this victim mentality. If you still carry this feeling with you, you're almost not allowing yourself to have the free will to have your own life. If we constantly feel like we are the victim, then we'll feel like we don't have a choice, or we can't do anything about our situation. And that is ridding us of our free will. So the sign that your North Node is in will show the qualities and the traits that you need to develop in order to mature into a position of respectability in the public world and accomplish your biggest dreams. So if you have a North Node in Aries in the 10th house, you'll have a South Node in Libra in the 4th house. When you start accomplishing your real dreams, your pioneering qualities start to come out, and you can be recognized and respected for that. For being someone whose energy brings freshness, leadership, and courage and bravery to go down your own path, even if the path has not been trodden down before. You succeed no matter what. If you have a Taurus North Node in the 10th house, you have a Scorpio South Node in the 4th house, and you already have within you inner strength. You need to just build on and tap into your powers of persistence and determination. You already have the strength deep within you because of something that happened in your family that may not be very pleasant, but that builds your strength, and therefore you have the ability to go out into the world and use that inner strength, build on it with strategy, persistence, resourcefulness. But also doing so, climbing that, career ladder without much force as well. Climbing life's social ladders by understanding the flow and the right timing. Taking things step by step. This is a really promising placement for the attainment of wealth. If you have a Gemini North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Sagittarius South Node in the 4th house. You are here to learn the art of delegation and management. Once you get to the top, you'll be able to exercise your management skills like a pro. If you can make up your mind, that is. Or you can at least be very good at pretending like you have it all together for a while. But remember not to drain yourself, because there can be a nervous energy that comes up when you have to take on more of a leadership position in the public world. You're also learning how to get your message to the public and feel recognized for your intelligence. If you have a Cancer North Node in the 10th house, this placement, you're learning to know that the whole world is also your family. And the adoration and love that you get from the world can really make you feel fulfilled. But there may be some pretty heavy guilt here and burdens that maybe burdens you and kind of pulls you back into that position of having a tough interior that a lot of people can't penetrate. Knowing that guilt is actually an illusion will help you to release it and step out into the public world. If you have a Leo North Node in the 10th house, you will have an Aquarius South Node in the 4th house. And this is like a really CEO type of a placement. And if you're not aiming to be a CEO, you're mainly learning to be in charge and feel proud of the recognition that comes from being an outstanding leader in one way or another. If you have a Virgo North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Pisces South Node in the 4th house. You're here in this life to learn to add a little bit of that workaholic nature to you. Just a little push. You're here to learn the development of your craft, to learn to develop a particular craft until you gain mastery in it. This can also mean mastery of the mind, and then you need to find a way to be recognized for your mastery. If you have a Libra North Node in the 10th house, you will have an Aries South Node in the 4th house. And you're here to learn to be recognized for your acute sense of justice, or being able to give some kind of justice to the world. If you took up a leadership position, you will be one with very sound judgments that a lot of people can trust. Maybe you get into politics. But you know, this push to gain justice in the world for you is really coming from an inner sense or an experience of your childhood that maybe there was not a lot of justice there. So you have this push to then try to give justice to the world. If you have a Scorpio North Node in the 10th house, you have a Taurus South Node in the 4th house. You are here learning to empower yourself through being an authority figure in one way or another, and then empowering others. The way that you use power will depend on whether you have internalized it or completely externalized it. The correct use of external power comes from knowing that power is already within you and that no one can ever take it away. So you have to initially internalize power first. Then we don't go around wielding our external power, but it just begins to shine from the inside out. And you can radiate an aura of being somebody who can be trusted and respected without you really having to do so much. And politics, going to politics is also really good with this placement. If you have a Sagittarius North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Gemini South Node in the 4th house. And you're here to learn to take your accomplishments around the world, being recognized by people of different cultures, religion, because you have immersed yourselves in their cultures, their customs, their traditions, their languages. If you have a goal, you're learning with this North Node placement to really aim big and to really stick to one goal. And don't change your mind. You can really just influence other people very easily because you seem wise, you seem cultured and open-minded. Whether you are internally or not, but people are going to see you that way when you get in touch with the North Node. If you have a Capricorn North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Cancer South Node in the 4th house. And you're really learning here to pass several tests in your life in order to reach the pinnacle of success that is very much just waiting for you. But you're learning to do it through doing something that is going to be hard enough to be worth the climb. Getting out of the shell of family burdens and dramas is so much more emphasized here because there's a double emotional attachment, emotional nature that you have with regards to the stresses that your family may have imposed on you. You are here to really be a provider, but you have to make enough first to be able to provide. If you have an Aquarius North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Leo South Node in the 4th house. This is interesting because you're here to really learn to reassess what success really means for humanity. What does status and accomplishment really mean for the world? Have we got it all wrong? Or have we got it right? Or have we got it wrong? Have we been too egocentric about success? And is that what is causing so many problems in the world? Maybe you are here to lay a new foundation for us all, to challenge our principles, tear it down, and then assist us in building up a new foundation. If you have a Pisces North Node in the 10th house, you will have a Virgo South Node in the 4th house. You're here to learn to add a little bit of glamour and an informal nature to your reputation in the world. And your informalness really comes from your ability to be able to mix and match different facets of different career into one. It's really kind of a genius, really, to be that creative yet intuitive with your gifts of synthesis. That is my take on North Node in the 10th house. What sign is your North Node in the 10th house in? Do comment below and let us know what your experiences have been having this placement in a particular sign. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you already subscribed, thank you very much for coming along. I do birth chart readings, synastry, and relationship readings. You can find more information on my website. And yeah, I'll see you soon, beautiful soul. The next North Node video will be North Node in the 8th house. I'll see you then. Bye.